Aharon Appelfeld was born on February 16, 1932. He is currently still alive and is 83 years old. He was born to Michael and Benia Appelfeld in Chernowitz, Romania, which is now Chernovtsi, Ukraine. Aharon lived a normal life until the age of 7. This was due to the fact that World War II had begun and he was Jewish. During this period, Aharon faced many difficult times and obstacles. In 1941, Aharon's mother was murdered by the Nazi Romanian army. He did not see her die but only heard the scream and single shot. At this time, Aharon and his father were also sent to a concentration camp. Aharon experienced many horrific sights. He saw the deaths of many Jewish people, old or young, by starvation and slaughter from the Nazis. Luckily, Aharon was able to escape to a nearby forest in 1943. He portrayed himself as a German orphan and kept his real identity secret. Throughout the years, he sought shelter from peasants. Maria is one of the peasants that took him in. However, Aharon had to work for her. He did her every bidding, but he was still beaten severely. A year later, he ran away and sought shelter from a blind peasant. However, the peasant was the exact same and saw no mercy. After 3 years of living in the forest, barns, or refugee houses, Aharon decided to join the Soviet Army in 1944. Aharon's weak and scrawny complex did not get him a spot to be a soldier, but a cook instead. When the war ended in 1945, Aharon was sent to a displaced camp in Italy, otherwise known as a refugee camp for the Jewish people. During 1946 and 1950, Aharon moved to Palestine, and several years later, he was reunited with his father. Aharon never wrote about this experience because it was too emotional for him. During the 1950s, Aharon went to the Hebrew University of Jerusalem to complete his studies. He also began to write during this time. Aharon had a lack of formal education, and learning on the streets is how he learned. The university taught Aharon the formal way of writing. Today he lives in Medrasot Zion and teaches literature at Ben-Gurion University of the Negev. Aharon chooses to write in Hebrew, the language he learned when he was a teenager. Even though German was his mother tongue, he could not bring himself to write in German because of what they did to the Jews. However, Aharon knows and understands Yiddish, Ukrainian, Russian, English, and Italian. Almost all of Aharon's novels are written in fiction, despite his book, The Story of a Life. This book was an autobiography about his personal experience in World War II. Even though Aharon writes novels in fiction, he evokes the Holocaust without relating to it directly. One of his novels was a book called Tzili. Tzili was the least favorite child of her family due to her illiteracy. This caused her family to leave her when the Nazis came and invaded the town. She survived by hiding in the forest or seeking shelter from peasants. She sought shelter from a prostitute named Katerina. However, Tzili ran away when Katerina wanted her to get into that business. She sought shelter from an old couple but was forced to leave when the beating began. Soon after, she had found a man named Mark who escaped from the concentration camps. They spent a while together until Mark left and was never seen again. Tzili had no choice but to leave. She soon found other refugees and stayed with them. They took care of her even when they found out that she was pregnant. They left her when she went to the hospital to give birth. Unfortunately, she lost her unborn baby and was sent to a displaced camp later. In these books, Aharon has a recurring motif, which are silence, muteness, and stuttering, as well as disability, which becomes a source of strength and power. Aharon's metaphorical depiction on the Holocaust has helped Aharon stand out from other Holocaust writers, as well as won many awards and honors. Aharon's books include Badenheim 1939, The Age of Wonders, Tzili, The Retreat, To the Land of the Let-Tales, The Immortals are Birthed for Every Sin, The Healer, Katerina, Iron Tracks, Onto the Soul, Conversion, Lash, Beyond Despair, The Story of a Life, A Table for One, and The Light of Jerusalem, All Whom I've Loved, Blooms of Darkness, Until the Dawn's Light, Suddenly Love, and he's still continuing to write books. He had won the National Jewish Book Award for fiction by his book Badenheim 1939 and The Mortal of Bartooth. His other awards include the Prixmedics, which he won from his autobiography, and the Independent Foreign Fiction Prize from Blooms of Darkness. Aharon writes about the events that Jewish people experienced in or out of concentration or labor camps. He shows the world what it was like during these times and how many people were affected. Aharon was also one of many people who suffered and lost close friends and family. Aharon's work has shown the world a glimpse of how terrible World War II was. Each of Aharon's novels leaves the reader with a deep and meaningful impression as the reader feels the pain and of Appelfeld. War is over. Appelfeld is still affected and will never forget the terrible memories that haunt him.